Everyone here has played an instrument in some capacity. Whether you learned to play the recorder in elementary school, you played in your high school band or orchestra, or even if you just used your mom's pot as a drum as a toddler, we've all played instruments. However, there's one instrument in particular that can play every single instrument that we all have played combined, and even more. It can mimic the woodwind and brass instruments in a band, the string instruments of an orchestra, and even the voices in a choir. Its deepest notes are so loud that they boom in your chest, and its highest are so light that you can barely hear them. This instrument is the pipe organ. Today, I'm going to tell you about the pipe organ and its history, how it works, and where you can hear it today. The pipe organ has a long history dating back to antiquity. According to New York Times reporter and diplomat Craig Whitney, who is also an amateur organist in his spare time and has played organs around the world, in his 2003 novel, All the Stops, he says that the first organ ever made was the hydraulis. It was invented in the 3rd century BC in Alexandria, Greece. It used water to create air pressure, and that is what forced the air through the pipes. After the Greeks, the Romans also used the hydraulis in their amphitheaters. Afterwards, the Byzantium Empire continued to use it. According to Christian Music, A Global History, a novel by Dr. Timothy Dowley, written in 2011, the Byzantium influence is what brought it into the Christian churches. Christians began to install pipe organs in monasteries, churches, and cathedrals until they were very popular. Dowley continues that Protestants also used organs in different capacities and had varying opinions on them and on music. For example, the Puritans were fond of smashing pipe organs, and they did not use any instruments at all, only their voices. In comparison, Lutherans loved the organ, and they actually have yielded arguably the best organ composer of all time, Johann Sebastian Bach. If you've ever heard an organ piece, it was likely one of Bach's. Today, Christians still use organs all around the world. How the organ works has changed through the centuries and with technology, resulting in the complex machines that we have today. Despite its appearance with its keyboard, an organ actually works nothing like a piano. With a piano, when you press a key, the key causes a hammer to strike a chord, and that is what produces the sound. In an organ, when you press a key, it actually opens a pipe and allows air to be blown through it, resulting in the noise. So it is not a string instrument in the way that a piano is. It is actually a woodwind instrument. The most visible part of the organ to us are the large decorated pipes called a facade. Despite the fact that they are pipes, they are actually not really part of the organ. They do not work as part of the organ. However, that does not mean that they are useless. According to Andrew Gingery with CB Fisk Incorporated, a company that creates and installs organs, he said in the American Guild of Organists magazine in the January 2020 edition, casework, facade pipes, and woodwork all enhance the blending and projection of sound into the space where the listener is. So not only do facade pipes make the organ look beautiful, but it also helps them to sound beautiful. On an organ, there are multiple keyboards called manuals. An organ can have as few as 2 manuals and have as many as 7 on the largest of instruments. Each manual or keyboard controls a different section of pipes called divisions. In order to access these different sections of pipes, buttons are pulled out, which are called stops. So these stops open the different pipes, and these pipes mimic different instruments like the oboe, the French horn, the flute, the bass, any instrument you can name. Not only do they mimic different instruments, but they also come in different lengths, which means that they play higher or lower than each other. As a result of all of these different instruments and pitches available to combine, there are thousands of different combinations an organist can use while playing a piece. That is part of what makes the organ so unique and so versatile. Lastly, there's also a pedal keyboard as well as all of the keyboards for your hands. So not only can you play with both hands, but you can also play with the keyboard at your feet. In fact, organists have to wear special shoes that have thin leather soles. They allow you to feel the pedal beneath the organ and are also protective to the organ pedals and gentle on them. Organs are complex machines, and each are unique to the space that they are built in, but all of them have these essential components. Despite the declining use of the organ, there are still many places today that you can hear them, and in fact, there are many opportunities to in Columbus in particular. For example, St. Joseph's Cathedral has had a concert series each month, and each one is free. According to stjosephcathedralmusic.org, as of 2020, in April, they will have an internationally renowned organist, David Briggs, come to perform. In a more casual setting, you can also see the organ at the Ohio Theater. During their Ohio Theater Summer Movie Series, there is an organist that plays during that. According to the Columbus Association of Performing Arts.com in their 2015 blog post, the Mighty Morton is the organ that was installed there in the 1920s, and it was to accompany silent films. I've been there myself, and the organ actually rises up out of the floor as the organist plays, and it's really quite wonderful to see. So, in summary, the organ has a long history dating back to Greece, Rome, Byzantium, through the Middle Ages, and into today, and Christians still use them around the world. They are complex machines using pipes, keyboards, and stops, and even foot pedals. And there are a variety of ways and venues that you can hear an organ and what they are still used for. In closing, organs are magnificent instruments. There are very few sensations like sitting before an organ as a Bach piece blares and the hair on the back of your arms stands on end. It's a unique experience that I hope that you all can enjoy.